The 95th Academy Awards are still a few months away, but I thought it would be fun over the next few weeks to make some early Oscar predictions in the top few categories. We've talked about Best Supporting Actress and Best Supporting Actor, and now it's time to discuss the leading acting categories. In today's video, we're looking at my favorite category, Best Actress. I know, it's still early, but here are the top Oscar contenders for Best Actress at next year's ceremony. So this category is pretty interesting. It's not nearly as wide open as Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress. I would say there's not really any locks in those categories outside of maybe Brendan Gleeson in The Banshees of Inisherin and Ke-Huy Quan in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Best Supporting Actress, I guess one of the two from Women Talking, Claire Foy or Jessie Buckley, you could kind of consider a lock, but like anything can happen in the supporting acting categories. That is not the case for Best Actress. I would argue there are 3 locks already. 3 people who are definitely getting in, and I even think a 4th you could argue too. Like, I feel pretty good about 4 of these contenders making it in, and as of now, it's just about who gets that 5th slot. So first, what are the locks? The first lock, the one that is happening no matter what, 100%, is Cate Blanchett in Tar. I just saw this film about 2 weeks ago. I was blown away by the movie and her performance. This is one of the great Cate Blanchett performances ever. I mean, it is astonishing, and she is basically in every scene for 2.5 hours. I just think if she hadn't won for Blue Jasmine 9 years ago, if all she had was the Oscar for The Aviator, I think this race would be over. I think Cate Blanchett wins the Oscar for Best Actress. I don't even think there's a question about it. Her winning Best Actress once before for Blue Jasmine, now I'm not so sure. Like, we can always turn to Frances McDormand, who won Best Actress for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and then just 3 years later won her 3rd Oscar for Best Actress for Nomadland. It's possible, but there might not be as many Academy voters ready to award her a 3rd time. And one thing with Tar is it's very cold. It's a very cold, bleak movie. She's not the most likable character, so I could see that film turning off some voters, and so I'm not so sure right now that she wins, but she's definitely getting in. That would be the shocker of a century if Blanchett didn't get in, at least for a nomination for Tar. The next one I think is absolutely happening is Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Even if that movie underperforms, let's say it doesn't get in for Best Picture, let's say for some crazy reason it doesn't get a nomination for Ke-Huy Quan. I don't think that would happen. I think he's pretty safely in supporting actor right now. But even if the response to the movie by Academy voters was underwhelming, I think Michelle Yeoh still gets in. Like, she is on another level in this movie. It is a total show-stopping performance in every way, and the industry loves Michelle Yeoh. She's been doing excellent work for decades, and she's never received an Oscar nomination. There is so much enthusiasm for Everything Everywhere All at Once. That would be really, really bad if she didn't make it in. Every article, every piece you would see, everything would be about Michelle Yeoh if she missed, if she didn't get that Best Actress nomination. I think everyone's pulling for her, regardless of what happens with Jamie Lee Curtis, Ke-Huy Quan, Best Picture. Like, Michelle Yeoh is getting in for this movie. I feel pretty confident in that. The third lock, I would say, is Danielle Deadwood for Till. I just saw this film also about 2 weeks ago, like Tar. I actually saw it the same weekend as Tar. Till is a much more standard biopic. I don't think the movie's going to do very well in terms of like technical categories, Best Picture, Best Director, things like that. But for me, like, the movie was solid and Danielle Deadwood elevated it monumentally. She is extraordinary in this movie. She made me cry on 3 separate occasions. Her performance is so authentic, so lived in. Every moment. She's in so much in the movie, and I just adored her performance in this film. I think it's the gold standard for the kind of performance we should be rewarding in Best Actress. And I still think, depending on how the season goes the next few months, that Deadwyler could win because it's such an emotionally rich, devastating performance. You really feel her pain. You sympathize with her. You are there for her. She's much more likable than Cate Blanchett is in Tar. She's got so many Oscar moments. She gets a monologue towards the end. She has scenes of crying. It's just a beautiful, fully realized performance. And again, I'd be very surprised if she did make it. Like, that would be unbelievable to me if on Oscar nominations morning we didn't hear the name Danielle Deadwyler in Best Actress. I think she's deserving of it. Anyone who sees that movie, I think, will agree that she's getting in for Till. And then there's Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans. Now, I've read some pieces that say she's really more of a supporting performance in that movie and that she might not make it into lead actress at the Oscars. And some people have said, like, maybe on Oscar nominations morning, she shows up in supporting actress. I don't think that's going to happen. I think if Michelle Williams gets in, it's in the lead actress category. And Michelle Williams has been so great for the last 2 decades in so many excellent films and performances. She's received 4 Oscar nominations, many of which I thought she was deserving to win. I just think the enthusiasm for The Fabelmans is overwhelming right now. Every time I hear about a screening, I haven't seen it yet. I'm hopefully seeing it very soon, and I'm excited to see her performance. I think Michelle Williams is probably getting in. Like, if she doesn't make it in, let's say the movie gets Best Picture, Best Director nominations, a supporting actor nomination for Judd Hirsch or Paul Dano, but then Michelle Williams is left out of Best Actress, that will feel weird to me. That'll be kind of strange. There's a lot of love for Michelle Williams. She just won an Emmy a few years ago for Fosse Verdon, so I think she will get in for Best Actress for The Fabelmans. I'm like 98% sure on that. So there you go. Those are 4 of 5 contenders I think are going to get in for Best Actress at the Oscars. And it's only November. I don't know how much of that will change. I think these 4 will stay unless the precursor ceremonies tell a different story, like at SAG or at BAFTA. And even then, I just feel pretty good about these 4. So now it becomes who gets that 5th slot. I think there are 2 women fighting over that 5th slot. Both have a very good chance. The first one is Viola Davis for The Woman King, a movie I adored. I thought she was great in that film, and the Academy loves Viola Davis. She won a few years ago for Fences. She was nominated for The Help and for Doubt, and it's been a few years, and I think the movie overperformed at the box office. People really liked it. And it's a really great character for her, and she just hits it out of the park. I think she's great. So I've seen her name on some prediction websites as making it into the final 5, and I think that could happen. But I don't know. Will there be enough enthusiasm for The Woman King come February, March? I feel like I haven't heard about it as much the last few weeks. I was worried about it coming out in September, and I feel like some people might look at it as a genre film. Like, I don't know if she can make it into that 5th slot. It might be a Widow situation where she doesn't make it into a couple of the precursors, and then maybe gets in at BAFTA. We think maybe she'll get in for the Oscar, and then she doesn't show up. I'm not ready to predict her there yet, but she's definitely around slot 6 or 7. Like, Viola Davis is pretty close. The other one that's pretty close is Olivia Coleman for Empire of Light. As I talked about in my supporting actor video, I'm not sure how well Empire of Light does on Oscar nominations morning. I haven't heard much about it since it played at the festivals. Like the last 6 weeks, I feel like it's been very quiet. So I'm like, is this movie just going to crash and burn and get like nothing, like maybe 1 nomination somewhere? Or is it going to get into picture, director, actress, supporting actor? Is it going to do very well? From what I heard about it, it sounds like a movie that Academy voters would really like. And Olivia Coleman has done extraordinarily well at the Oscars the last few years. She wins for The Favorite. She gets in for The Father. She gets in for The Lost Daughter. and she's kind of like the new Meryl Streep. She keeps showing up year after year. And so with that fifth slot pretty well open right now, I feel like the smart choice here is Olivia Coleman. I think she is probably the most likely choice to take that fifth slot. But again, I'm not sure if Empire of Light is going to do remarkably well in the weeks to come. I've heard some critics call it kind of a disappointment, kind of flat. Not everybody loved it. So I'm kind of going back and forth with her right now. I think she probably gets in at the Golden Globes, and then SAG will help illuminate the situation more. But as of now, I don't have her in the fifth slot, although she's very close. Some other contenders, Jennifer Lawrence in Causeway. I just watched that on Apple TV+. It's a terrific performance. It's easily the best she's been since Joy, and I could probably even go further back than that. What I loved about it was Jennifer Lawrence doing a kind of Winter's Bone indie movie again. Just no bells and whistles, just a quiet character study performance. I thought that was kind of cool. We haven't seen that from Lawrence in a long time. And again, the Academy loves her too. Could she be a surprise nomination? I don't think the movie is successful enough for that to happen. I don't think there's going to be a lot of buzz and talking about this film. I think the movie will ultimately hold her back, but you never know with Lawrence. The Academy really, really adores her. Rooney Mara, Women Talking. I think the flaw here is that Women Talking will be looked at as an ensemble film, and if someone wants to give it an acting nomination, I think they'll go to the supporting actress category for a Jessie Buckley or Claire Foy. I don't think Women Talking gets in for lead actress. That would be surprising to me. The one I would love to see get in, it's probably my favorite performance next to Cate Blanchett in Tar and Danielle Deadwood in Till, is Emma Thompson in Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. Now that movie premiered on Hulu way back in June. I don't think there's a chance in hell Emma Thompson makes it in. I'm hoping she gets a nomination somewhere in the upcoming award season, like at the Golden Globes, or maybe like a surprise nomination at SAG or something, maybe like the sixth slot at Critics' Choice. Emma Thompson has not received an Oscar nomination since 1996, and she's been doing amazing work the last 25 plus years, and I thought one of her best performances I've ever seen from her was in Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. It's such a vulnerable performance. It just really got under my skin. I thought she was extraordinary in that movie, and I really hope it gets some sort of recognition coming up here. I don't think Ana de Armas gets in for Blonde. I thought she might back in September, but the hatred for that movie really pushed it aside. If there wasn't this much competition in Best Actress, let's say there was just one lock right now. Let's say it was only Cate Blanchett for Tar, and then the rest of it was a free-for-all. Like, maybe she could get in, but outside of like a shocker nomination at one of the precursors, maybe, I don't think she makes it in at the Oscars. Two genre performances I loved this year were Mia Goth in Pearl and Rebecca Hall in Resurrection. Those are two absolutely Oscar-worthy performances, but it's really, really tough for Academy voters to recognize horror films and thrillers, and so I think those two actresses get Oscar nominated only in my heart and will not show up anywhere on the award season, but especially Mia Goth in Pearl. Like, that was a really amazing performance. She goes for it. She chews the scenery. I mean, she is on another level in Pearl, and it's too bad. I think she would be a really cool Oscar nomination for Best Actress. Some other possibilities, Zoe Kazan for She Said. I think if She Said shows up in an acting category, it will be supporting actress for Carey Mulligan, who's been nominated before. Since supporting actress has more wiggle room right now, I think that's more likely to happen than Kazan. And then what about Taylor Russell for Bones and All? Like, I've heard great things about the movie and her performance. I wouldn't count that one out. Like, if Bones and All overperforms, gets more nominations in precursor ceremonies than what we're expecting, Like, that could be a surprise 5th slot nominee, Taylor Russell. If the movie really takes off and people respond to it once it's out and everybody's seeing it, Taylor Russell could happen. But as we reach the end of this video, I have one other actress I'm feeling is going to make it in. I'm not 100% sure. I'm feeling much better about the other 4 I talked about closer to the beginning, but I have a feeling about Margot Robbie in Babylon. Based on the trailer and the release date and Damien Chazelle, I just feel like Babylon is going to do at least semi-well, and I do think it gets into at least one acting category. It might be Brad Pitt, it might be Jean Smart, who I talked about in my supporting actress video, but I think if it only gets into one, I'm feeling pretty good about Margot Robbie. The Academy loves her too. She got in for I, Tonya, she got in for Bombshell, and it just looks like a big, wild performance that will have enough people really rooting for it. So I'm kind of leaning toward her getting that 5th slot. I might change my mind down the road, but as of this recording, my predictions for Best Actress are as follows. Cate Blanchett in Tar, Danielle Deadwood in Till, Margot Robbie in Babylon, Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. That sounds like a pretty awesome category, am I right? Those would be 5 excellent nominations. I can't wait to see what happens. Join me in my next predictions video where I'll talk about, of course, Best Actor. There's Brendan Fraser, Colin Farrell, Austin Butler, and maybe some surprises coming our way too. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below, who do you predict will be nominated for Best Actress at next year's ceremony? Is there anyone you think I left off the list? See you next time.